Hello and welcome to CEO Talks. I am Kalpana Singhal, CEO and Editor-in-Chief CXO TV, our flagship brand of Tech Plus Media Group. Joining me today, our very special guest, Mr. Varun Babbar, Managing Director, India SAARC at Qlik. A warm welcome to you, Varun, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Kalpana. Thanks for having me here.
So let's start by knowing a pivotal moment in your professional journey that significantly shaped your approach to leadership and contributed to your current role as a managing director at Qlik?
Yeah. In fact, Kalpana, actually every interaction that you do internally or externally gives something to you to learn. But obviously there are few moments which kind of leave a long-lasting impression. And for me, that happened in, I think, 2018. When I moved into broader sales roles. So I've been with Qlik for almost 13 years. I've done various tech roles, then pre-sales, and then moved into sales. So when I got into this journey, I initially it was my first time, and I kind of started doing the same things that I was seeing other people do. And I was getting similar kind of results. The results were good. I'm not saying the results were not good, but they were very similar, very incremental in nature. And that's when I kind of got into this mode that why do we kind of constrain ourselves with our thoughts only? Like, just to kind of give you an example. So when we decide our next year quota, right, we see what was our performance last year. We put a 10, 15, 20% increment on it and then kind of decide that, okay, this is what we want to achieve next year. And then we work towards it. So in a way, we are constraining our thought process only with this incremental thinking. I also got a word very recently in one of the seminars I attended where our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji was talking, and he talked about curse of incremental thinking. And that's exactly what I experienced during 2018, that if I kind of make it limitless for myself, I can achieve wonders. And that's what I've been trying to do over the years, that how do I enable my team to not constrain them by their vision only, so that they can think beyond what's possible to get results which are unimaginable. So that's been my key leadership style, or anything you want to kind of call it, that gives freedom to people to think beyond increments and achieve what they really can achieve.
Yeah, fantastic. So it's all about also doing things differently. And yes, which involves a lot of creativity. So giving a free hand, I mean, that's a true leader.
Definitely. If you do same things, you cannot expect different results, right? So you really need to kind of innovate constantly to get different results out of.
Especially when it is technology as a development where there is a lot of disruption, innovation, and everything is keeping in all the innovation that which are happening is in view with the end user experience, that, okay, how is that going to influence an end user and going to do those technologies are going to impact. So I think doing differently, absolutely, you're right, is quite important than just looking at the figures that, keeping those targets that are how much we have to achieve. Yeah, sure. So beyond your professional commitments, what passions or hobbies do you pursue that contribute to your well-rounded approach to life and leadership? How do these outside interests complement or influence your professional endeavors?
See, mostly my interests lie in the areas of sports. So I play both individual games as well as team sports. When it's individual, now I play more badminton. Earlier I used to play table tennis, etc. also a lot. And in team sports, I play football and cricket. And both have actually shaped the way I usually approach life, right? So when you are in an individual game, while you are competing against a person on the opposite side of the court, but every day you are competing against yourself also, that are you improving every day? Are you able to kind of push yourself to do something which you were not able to do probably a week before, right? So that has helped me in my work life in a way that I am able to push myself to keep improving the things that are like very regular in nature, but you want to kind of keep improving, and that gets you different results in a big way. So that's one. And team sports definitely helps you build that team culture, right? So when you are playing a team game, and even in work or personally in your personal life, you cannot achieve everything individually. You're dependent on your family, you're dependent on your peers to achieve the goals that you set for yourselves, right? So in team sports, you kind of learn to trust people, right? If someone has a role to play in a team, you trust that person to play that role in the team, and that way you kind of develop that whole culture within your ecosystem that you flourish with that trust going around. So I think both these aspects have helped me in a way. One in to push myself to improve every day, and other is to have that trust building nature with the internal as well as external ecosystem to get better results.
Totally agree with you. I think team spirit is something which makes, when you are in team, you actually work as partners and not just, someone taking your instructions or orders. So,
Definitely, never worked this way.
yeah. So sports definitely help in mental health also. Yeah, sure. So let's understand what is Qlik. Like, we know a bit about Qlik, but it's good to always know from horse's mouth.
So Qlik is a leader in data integration and data analytics space for many decades now. So when you talk about anything related to data, right? So it has different stages. You talk about understanding your data, finding where your data is, whether you can trust your data or not, and then what you can do with that data, what kind of actions you can take with that data. So everything and anything with what you do with these four aspects, finding the data, understanding it, trusting it, and then taking action on top of it, is what Qlik does every day, right? We help organizations to get data from wherever they want to store that data, move that data in a governed and trusted fashion to an environment where they want to move it, and then apply analytics as well as AI on top of it to derive actions which can benefit their business, and they derive business value out of it. So that's what Qlik does as a whole.
Yeah, sure. So that's, I think, that's the need of the hour, I would say, rather, because the concept of data democratization is gaining momentum. And so how do you see the organizations embracing self-service analytics and empowering users across various departments to harness the value of data without heavy reliance on IT?
The data democratization has been a flavor of this season for many seasons now, I would say. I think if you go back decades, if I talk about early 2000s, when I started my analytics career, it was more of a one-to-one relationship between someone building analytics and consuming analytics. So there was a IT person who was building analytics only for select few people in the management. We even used to call it management information systems in those days, right?
Yeah.
So it was only built for top leadership in the organization. You move another decade from there, then we talked about a scenario where a more governed IT-driven architecture came up, where you build large data warehouses and then analytics dashboarding systems on top of it, which gives analytics to a broader audience. So that was like few to many, kind of that few people are building for many people.
To bring down the interoperability, kind of.
That. And now we're getting into a mode where we're talking about these two roles converging together. That it's many to many kind of relationship. Everyone in the organization is creating content as well as consuming content. So there is no separate team. We are seeing that which is only responsible of creating content, which will be given to a separate business user. A business user himself is creating content. And with the advent of generative AI, you would have seen in your profession also how tools like ChatGPT, etc., has changed the way you can work, right?
Yeah.
In the same way, people are able to leverage just natural language processing to process data and get meaningful results out of it. So the gap which used to be there between developers and consumers has completely merged, and we're getting into a mode of many to many, not only in analytics but also in AI. Even in AI, usually a few years back, there were only data scientists who could do much with the data that is coming, and then they were trained on statistics, and they could develop these algorithms to derive most out of data. But then we are getting into a mode where automated machine learning technologies are available, where a normal user can use AI to leverage the data and get the power of AI in their business. So overall, we are seeing that more and more data as well as AI technology is getting to the business users and to almost every person in the organization, so that they can get benefits in their role that they are playing in that organization.
Yeah, sure. So AI and machine learning are transforming the analytics capabilities. So in what ways are these technologies being incorporated into data analytics, and how are they enhancing the ability to drive meaningful insights from those complex data sets?
See, we are in an age where I can say AI is booming. So I talked about automated machine learning, but overall AI, I think there are 3-4 different trends which are very relevant these days. One is obviously we are seeing that generative AI is promising a new era which is with enhanced productivity and prosperity. Natural language, the large language models, which is the technology behind generative AI, is transforming the way people are doing their regular course, right? But what we are seeing in enterprises is that there's an extension to it also, that you need to integrate your enterprise data with these large language models and bring a context to the queries that you are asking. And that's called regenerative augmented generation. So RAG. So that methodology, I think, is going to be the flavor of the season going forward. That a lot of research is going in that area. How do we kind of provide context to this large language models through our enterprise data to get maximum out of it? So that's one trend that I see. The second is the traditional AI is getting more and more democratized, as I said. More and more people are using AI within their processes. We see one of our customers, which is a large insurance company, they are using AI-based models to generate early warnings during their underwriting process. Similarly, there is a public sector customer which is doing preventive maintenance of their boilers based on the data that comes from those boilers or from the operational level, from streaming data, etc. So a lot of people are using AI in their regular tasks that are there. And finally, as I said, democratization of AI, where a regular user is using AI through automated ML. Some call it co-pilot. But primarily it means that giving the AI capability in the hand of a normal user who doesn't know those complex languages like Python and doesn't have formal training in statistics to still derive the benefits of AI.
Yeah. So are you using generative AI in any of your solutions that you are tailoring for your clients?
As I said, generative AI is the technology which is promising a lot, and a lot is happening in that area. If you talk about one of the McKinsey studies, they say that almost 2.6 trillion to 4.2 trillion dollars of revenue is going to get impacted annually, around 63 use cases, and all are around data only. So that is the kind of impact that we can see with generative AI. With Qlik, obviously, we've been in data space for last 3 decades now, and I talked about RAG, right? In context learning. How do we provide the context to these large language models using enterprise data is what we are focusing on as a technology. And then the second aspect is that every AI solution or generative AI solution is only going to be successful if the underlying data is well governed, right? Otherwise, if you're running AI models on data which is not governed or is not right, then you're not going to get the right results. We've read in media some of the AI models not giving right results based on whatever learning they have done, right? So we need to kind of that's where Qlik has a very strong play. Qlik has a very strong play when I talk about finding the right data, governing that data. So it's basically understanding the DNA of your data, right? Can you trust your data to perform those AI tasks on top of it? So
That involves data privacy also. I'm sorry, sorry for this interrupting. So, this right data that you're talking about is about data privacy, or is it some other aspect?
Data privacy obviously will have an aspect whenever you talk about giving the data to others. But let me complete my thought, and I'll come to this question.
Sure.
So that data, governing that data, transforming that data as per the business needs, and then running those AI models and generative AI models on top of it. So these two areas, one is RAG, second is governing the data for right AI solutions, is where Qlik has a very strong role to play. Now, coming to your second aspect, that whenever there is talk of data, there is talk of regulations, there is talk of data privacy. So obviously, when we do this, you need to be very careful that how are you going to control the data from not getting into the wrong hands, right? So there are two aspects of it. One is, as I said, whether the data is business ready. So for that, you need to trust the data. You need to understand what is the source of the data, what kind of lineage, what transformation did you do, and then you run those on top of it. And second is the authentication and authorization mechanisms on top of that data. Have you defined the right mechanism so that the right person with the authority only gets that data? So whenever we talk about a data solution, I usually call it in a way that you need to build it in a way that your core is very governed, the central part of the solution, but the edges where the business users are coming and taking data out, they need to be flexible. So you need to define a data solution where the core is very solid and governed, while offering flexibility at the edges so that business users can go ahead and use these fantastic technologies like large language models to derive maximum out of it.
Yeah, sure. So real-time analytics is becoming crucial for decision making. How is the industry adapting to the demand for real-time insights, and especially with the integration of streaming data? Kind of what benefits does this bring to businesses?
Oh, in fact, that if one trend you want me to talk about, at least in India, which is taking a lot of prominence of late, is real-time data. I go to an organization and they really want to replicate data from one source to the other, integrate various upstream and downstream systems to derive more value out of the data that is coming, right? Again, if you take historically, data pipelines have moved in away from a very passive kind of an engagement where you were building pipeline if you wanted to build a dashboard, etc. only, to a more reactive model few years back where you had built some batch processes which were loading data either every night or every fortnight based on whatever your needs in the analytics were, to a model where we are talking about replicating data real time from one system to the another. If you see enterprise adoption of the systems, right, a lot of data is sitting in on-premise system traditionally, and now people are adopting a lot of SaaS technologies which are sitting on the cloud, right? So there is a need to move data from one system to the another, and that need is increasing every passing day. So we really see a very fast trend towards people adopting real-time analytics, especially streaming analytics. I was talking about the preventive maintenance of boilers. Same public sector entity, they manage the wet stock stock for their the product at various petrol stations across India through streaming of data, and get real-time visibility of what kind of stock they have so that they can manage the full supply chain around that. So a lot of work happening in this space with AI getting so prominent and the generative AI getting almost being used by everyone. People want that data to be real-time available to them so that they can get maximum out of that data. And that's what we see across most of the enterprises these days.
Yeah, sure. So you're talking about the data integration, usage of data between different functions also. So big data and traditional data sources coexist in many of the organizations. How is this data integration space addressing the challenges of integrating diverse data sets, and what strategies are effective in managing this data sensitivity, data diversity?
When we talked about real-time data, I kind of touched upon it, that data is getting created everywhere, right? A
Yeah.
lot of data traditionally is sitting in your client-managed systems on-premise. A lot of data is sitting in some SaaS systems which you have bought only for your specific needs in the organization. Previous thing also that lot of data is getting created on-premise in the traditional systems, and a lot of organizations are adopting specific technologies for on SaaS, sitting on cloud, and there's a lot of interchangeability of data. So when we talk about data, the first key requirement that organizations now have is that how fast we can move data from one system to the another. So that's one big trend that we are seeing, that how data moves very fast from one system to another. For that, we have something called connector factory that we have announced, where we say that we want to build a mechanism where any source can talk to any target and vice versa. And that's what we want to achieve as an organization. Second is that once you have moved the data, data needs to be talking to each other also, right? So you need to govern that data. You need to, as I said earlier, that you need to understand the DNA of the data. Can you trust that data to use that data in your analytics systems as well as in AI systems, right? So that's another key aspect that we focus on. That how do you ensure that your business user is trusting the data? So if I open a data as a business user, I should be able to find out that, okay, from where this data is coming. And while the technology moved that data from this place to myself now, what are the different changes that happen to the data? What are the transformations I did? What is the data lineage, etc.? So that finally I know that, okay, yes, this is how this data is presented to me and I can trust it for my future usage. So these two areas are very prominent when we talk about handling the traditional scenarios of data as well as the new life scenarios. And finally, we see a lot of different architectures being adopted by organizations when it comes to data. Good old days, people used to build large data warehouses. Then there was a time when we started building data lakes on Hadoop-based technology. And now we're talking about a lot of cloud data warehouses, data meshes, as well as data lakes kind of getting created for specific business needs and giving that flexibility to the users also, as well as giving capabilities which are more flexible and can be given to a broader audience. So these three areas where we are seeing changing data architecture, connectivity, any source to any target, and the capability to trust the data through right governance are the key things that we see and that people are asking for.
All right. So could you just tell us what is Qlik's global and India footprint and its business achievements over the last 12, 18 months? And also, what is, in your view, are the critical factors that have been crucial for your success in such a dynamic and competitive market?
So see, first thing, Qlik, globally, as I said, we are the leaders in data integration and data analytics space for almost 3 decades now. We are present in almost 100 plus countries with 35,000 plus customers. Of late, we have acquired a few large organizations like Talent, which has enhanced our capability to work on the data sides, along with our core strength, which was our analytics portfolio before that. So that has helped us go with the full story. I talked about those 4 aspects: finding the data, understanding it, trusting it, and then taking action of it. So we can do all 4 aspects now with our customers. On India, we have been present in India for almost 13 years now. In fact, I was one of the first few employees who joined India. And now I can proudly say that we are the 3rd largest employee base of Qlik globally.
Wow.
So from a place where we're single digit to a stage where we are. From a growth perspective, we have seen strong double-digit growth over the last few years, thanks to our bigger presence in BFSI business, as well as public sector business, digital natives, and automobile sector. So these are some of the sectors where we focus industry-wise and where we have seen broader adoption of technology faster and in a bigger way. Our growth in India is also is also dependent on few of the functions that we have moved to India, like R&D. We do make in India now, and so also we have our global consulting as well as customer success and support teams being based out of India. And you can never be successful without creating a right ecosystem around it, right? Qlik alone cannot be successful. So we have built a strong partner ecosystem of 40 plus partners, whether it is system integrators, global consulting partners, or boutique Qlik partners who help our customers deploying our technology and things beyond that. Plus we are running an academic program in India where we partner with universities to give our software to students as well as professors so that they can use our software during their learning journey, in their projects, in their curriculums. And then we're creating that ecosystem. There are 400 plus universities which are empaneled there. We have 4 COEs in India around that. So we are trying to build that whole data ecosystem. You talked about data literacy when we started the conversation, that how can we make a person coming out of college more data literate so that when he goes into the industry, he's more ready to kind of face the challenges. So
very important for employable skills, basically.
Yes, so we are working on that. So we have a very strong Qlik academic program. In fact, almost 48%, I think, if I'm right, of the people enrolled in our Qlik academic programs come from India. So that's the kind of depth we have with that program. So yeah. On your last question that you asked, that about what are the reasons of the success, right?
Yeah.
As I said, it's an ever evolving field. So it's important for Qlik to be relevant by coming up with a technology which is relevant for the business users. The analytics has changed from the way when I started to now. We never heard about generative AI 2 years back. Now everything that is happening is in that area of generative AI, right? So first things first is that your solution roadmap needs to be relevant. And I think that's where we excel over most of the other organizations, that we have been able to provide that independent analytics organizations to our customer that can address to almost each and everything that they can imagine in the area of analytics. So we've been able to provide that. Second is, it is important to build a right ecosystem. I think we've been able to build a good set of partner ecosystem to kind of take our technology to the broader audience. And definitely, I think Qlik globally has been instrumental in supporting India's growth by giving right focus on India as well as Indian customers to get to this level.
Yeah. So the sectors that we have highlighted have contributed in the success over the last 12 to 18 months. The focus continues on these sectors only, or is it that we are adding up to a larger audience now?
No, definitely we don't want to constrain our thought with the past. That's where we started this interview, right? So just because few sectors have been instrumental in the success does not mean that there is no growth there in the other sectors. If you really see India analytics market, if I kind of remember the numbers correctly, we are talking about I think $201 billion of market by 2027. Okay. These are the kind of numbers that we are talking about in next 3 to 4 years, right? So
quite a significant number. Yeah,
it's quite a significant number, and I'm sure that would mean that the growth will come from everywhere. And the way I think we are working towards our Viksit Bharat mission and everything, I think the growth is going to come from each segment, whether it is enterprise, whether it is government and public sector, whether it is small and medium-sized business also. So good thing about Qlik is that we cater to each one of these segments, and we have dedicated teams catering to these segments, as well as solutions which are more specific to a particular organization. So So let's say someone has a large SAP deployment and he wants to work on data internally as well as externally, move that data out. So we have solutions to kind of work with that large customer, which can automate this whole journey of their SAP data movement. While working with the customer, which just wants a small analytics dashboards for his CEO to start their analytics journey, we cater to that also through our Qlik SaaS early adoption model. So
Do you have technology partners as well? Integrated.
Definitely. Yes. So we see partnerships in three different lenses. One is technology partners. These are organizations like us with whom we partner. They are like organizations like Microsoft, Snowflake, Databricks. These are the organizations which are in the same space, and we work with them together to take our joint value proposition in front of our customers. So we have strong technology partnership with these organizations as well as organizations like AWS, Google, etc. Then second is the system integrator partners. These are the partners like TCS, L&T Infotech, Infosys, KPMG, PwC, etc., who work with our customers on their global digital transformation projects, and we partner with them during that transformation journeys. And finally, there are partners which are analytics partners and data integration partners only, who work maybe on our technology or a couple of other technologies only, slightly smaller partners, which you can call boutique partners, which we call our solution providers, which work with us, with our customers to deploy and implement our solutions with our customers.
Sure. So what are your top focus areas and expansion plans over the next 2 to 4 years?
From an India perspective, obviously, as I said, Gen AI is the area where we want to focus on, and how do we bring context to our customers by integrating enterprise data with the large language models that they want to adopt, and giving that capability to them. So that's going to be a high growth focus for us. Second, as I said, we will continue our investments in each one of the industries that we have seen success, as well as some new age industries. So like this year, we have also started focus on pharma as an industry separately, consumer electronics and consumer goods as an industry separately. So we will move beyond our regular focus industries to some other industries from a more business perspective. We are expanding our alliance and go-to-market teams also, so that we partner with more people. So the more you expand the ecosystem, the better it is going to be for you. And finally, I think you will see more and more broader investments in the aligned functions like consulting teams, customer success and support teams, IT teams based out of India, which will bring growth to the Qlik India team.
Yeah, sure. So thank you so much, Amit, for answering that last question. And since we are on the top of the hour, and we really appreciate you taking out time and joining us today and sharing those valuable insights. I'm sure our CXO TV audience is going to get a lot of you so much.
Thank you, Kalpana. Thank you very much for your time again. And it was really a good conversation. Helped me a lot too.
Yeah. And to our viewers, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more updates. Please follow #CXO TV News. Thank you.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.